Tonight on The Struggle, how not to use a socials profile, using pseudoscience to explain politicians' behaviour, and the latest day spa trend set to take off. As we draw closer to May 21st, MPs are doing everything they can to drum up support in their local electorates, from engaging with the community to erecting placards and even posing for cringy photo ops. Every vote counts. But Liberal MP Tim Wilson took a bit of an unconventional route by tweeting this self-congratulatory comment. "This guy is smart. Everyone should listen to him." I mean, I don't see what all the fuss is about. In this age where we want our politicians to be more authentic and say what they actually think, shouldn't we be praising Tim for being so candid in his self-assessment? Regardless, toggling from a personal to an avatar account is part of the modern politician's playbook, and The Struggle has identified some suspect tweets that don't seem to be genuine comments from the public. For instance, I highly doubt it was Dean Enger who wrote, "Scott Screamer Morrison is a great leader. He is the best. I like him a lot, and he makes a mean curry." And it's just as unlikely William Highton tweeted, "Anthony Albanese really did have COVID. They didn't just bench him for a week." And I don't think anyone really believes this apart from potentially the Greens leader himself, Adam Band for PM. Well, with so much fakeness going around the campaign trail, let's see what solutions empathy coach Jenny has to offer.
Thank you, sweetie. Well, hello. You may notice I have a different energy this week. It's because I've been channeling the universe and letting the stars guide my future. I've really been getting into horoscopes as of late. I found it's a great way to justify why a few politicians haven't been on their game recently. I mean, you can't help what the stars say. You can probably tell. We're trying absolutely anything at this point to justify why these people just don't have empathy. Now, you can expect a rocky few weeks from our politicians because we've just entered a new season, Taurus season. For Scott, well, he is a Taurus and this is his favourite month or whatever, so you can expect lots of smirking. While he might tell you that he does support things like climate change, a federal ICAC or ABC funding, don't listen to him. His moon's in Gemini, so understandably, he's a little temperamental this month. Now, as for Josh, he's a Cancer. Not literally. Well, sometimes, but that's besides the point. If you do see him attacking independent candidate Monique Ryan, it's just because the universe is being extra cruel to Cancerians at the moment and he's lashing out. As for Albo, well, he's a Pisces.
What's your sign? What's your sign? I'm a Pisces. I'm a Pisces.
Now, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole tarot cards thing, but I've been told they can really help us read the future. Tarot. Who is going to win the election? Oh.
Didn't shuffle well enough there, Jenny. Political advertising is really ramping up as candidates pop up on billboards with heads so big they rival Nick Kyrgios. But the humble letterbox drop of advertising material is still being used this election, with one particular Liberal ad catching our eye. In this flyer, the Liberals compare a series of stats spruiking how well the current government is doing compared to the last time Labor was in power. And let's just say, if the regions are still looking for people to harvest fruit, the government has an abundance of cherry pickers. Labor is portrayed as the most villainous entity to have ever graced the planet, while Scott Morrison is blessed. Let's head over to our reporter for more.
With the Liberals taking credit for every single economic parameter involved in the past decade or so, regardless of whether they were directly responsible for such progress, why stop at the economy? After all, if the government is latching on to anything good that happens in the past 9 years, however scarce those may be, why not lay claims to things beyond the political realm too? For instance, under Labor, the best anyone had was an iPhone 5. But under the Libs, iPhone 13. What a selling point. The 2010s also dished up some pretty foul fads, like Tumblr, coloured skinny jeans and that strange finger moustache tattoo. But thanks to the coalition, we've progressed to Keep Cups, AirPods and TikTok. Back in the AOP days, the world was a cesspit. But along came the LNP to foster in the Me Too era and champion the causes of people like Grace Tame. Oh, that can't be right. They probably can't take credit for that. But regardless, why let accuracy get in the way when there's an election to be won? Back to you, Ren.
Curious. Well, with Qantas announcing plans to launch non-stop flights from Sydney to New York and London, international travel is not only back on the radar, but going further than ever. However, before anyone had time to be wary of a 19-plus hour flight, the Flying Kangaroo's PR machine was already promoting the wellness zones and maximum comfort that passengers will enjoy on board. But if these flights are going to be so comfortable, will they become wellness retreats in their own right? We hit the streets to find out.
So, these new 18-hour flights, how do they make you feel?
Wait, are they going anywhere, the flights, or...?
London. So there'll be a lot of wellness opportunities on these flights. How long does it usually take you to feel well during your daily wellness routine?
I feel unwell all of the time.
Anything from the trolley. What would need to be on that trolley for you to feel maximum wellness?
I don't know, I guess nice soft drink and a good meal would be nice.
So you can pick anything in the world and you want a soft drink and a meal?
I guess, yeah. If
If they could somehow like turn them into like yacht trips, that'd be better, right? Because then you could get like the sea breeze as well instead of just like the recycled air conditioning.
So you'd prefer an 18-hour yacht trip from Sydney to London?
Look, it'd have to be like a very fast boat.
Captivating. Right, we're off to a quick break. Welcome back. Now it's time to check in on Max Payne's podcast.
Welcome to the Manosphere. Population? Men. Today, I'm going to be talking about fellow podcasters Fresh and Fit, who claim to be the world's #1 podcast for men, providing truth on females, fitness, and refinement. I'm sorry. Just guys, you can't rip off my style and then claim to be #1. We all know who the top dog alpha podcaster is. Right? Yeah, it's me. Yeah, of course it's me. Obviously, I'm the #1 podcaster. My podcast, fight me. My podcast is #1 for men. My girlfriend told me so. Yeah, that's right, guys. I have a girlfriend now, and you can have one too. All you gotta do is say things like, women can't biologically have kids after they turn 28. Or like, that if they have an Instagram, they're advertising their bodies for men to look at. Or like, that just men and women generally shouldn't be treated equally. Wait, Fresh and Fit say this all the time? Repeatedly? They stand by it? Oh, wow, okay. I guess they're more alphas than I originally gave them credit for. Well then, I suppose it wouldn't hurt too much to check in, see them in action. They were on the Kyle and Jackie O show last week. Let's see how they did.
Men and women are not the same. Women like attention, men want sex. So my thing is, a man is capable of having sex with other women while still loving his girl the same.
You're actually saying that in a relationship, it's okay for men to go and explore other options, but we have to be happy with you and not explore options.
Absolutely. Closed on your end, open on my end, and I think there should be honest between the two.
Why? Why would anyone agree to that?
You can't just go throwing that thing around. I spoke to Dan Balserian. Yeah, I'm sick of you asking to finish your long, boring answers that are the same answer every time we ask you a question. Even Dan Balserian last week told me to my face, so fucking what, clown? Here you are on the show. I can turn you off as well. Just turn these clowns off. See you fellas, grow up, ring us back when you're 30 and you've got half a brain. You're not running around being led by your own dicks. Bye-bye. See you later. Turn them off.
What deplorable, despicable, absolutely reprehensible behavior from Kyle and Jackie. I mean, the guy from Flesh and Tit was just speaking the truth. Guys need girls to be in committed relationships. Once all the women are being loyal and faithful, guys should be free to go explore other options, like poker nights, or lumberjacking, or buggery with other men. You know, because all the women are committed and faithful. Then Jackie went and interrupted him. Rude! Why would I ever want to listen to a woman talk about what women want in relationships? That's just silly. Then to top it all off, Kyle went and kicked him off the show. Come on, Kyle. It was just a bit of culture shock. That behavior's perfectly normal coming from a country that's about to ban abortions. You can't give women any sense of freedom. What'll they ask for next? Equal pay? An end to the pink tax? Voting rights? Oh God, no. Can you imagine if a woman became the head of the government? She might even do things like introduce paid parental leave, increase education funding, or even call out the sexism and misogyny in Parliament. Oh God, how horrifying! Oh, no. We need men in politics. Only men can bring honor and prestige to the job of politician. After all, no male politician has ever done anything sinful or shameful, and I'm sure nothing anyone says on this broadcast would contradict me on that point. Back to you, Ren.
Do you reckon he's ever heard of the word feminism? Yeah, no. Anyway, let's now head over to Brighton mum, Linda Crawford, to nitpick Polly's bad habits. Hello, darlings. Look, I'm faring pretty well this week, in all honesty. I've been very busy with my election campaigning here in Brighton, and well, the people love me. I mean, who can blame them? I'm fabulous, charismatic, and honest. I've got nothing to hide. But I can't say the same for most of the other Pollys out there. It seems everyone's been a bit naughty as of late and are revealing their bad habits to the world. I mean, first, we have Premier Daniel Andrews masquerading his alcoholism as celebration, encouraging the whole state to get on the beers. And can I just say, why beers, Dan? Just because you're a bogan doesn't mean we all ought to be as well. Then we have Craig Kelly, who's so desperate for a girlfriend he decided to DM the whole country. Yikes! But, I mean, at some stage you've got to feel a bit sorry for the guy. I mean, that's next level desperate. Saddest thing I heard is that he's still single. I guess Australia has standards. But I guess if Australia's standards are so high, why did this nation elect ScoMo as our Prime Minister? I feel so sorry for his lovely wife. It's common knowledge that ScoMo is a bit of an unfaithful partner. I've heard he's been sleeping around with this girl, Cole. You'd think he'd be quiet about having an affair, but over recent weeks he's been telling the whole world about how erotic she makes him feel. It's just been ghastly.
Cold makes me hard. Cold makes me come. My dick isn't always hard to cold, and it's only getting harder.
But it seems Australian politicians aren't the only ones with bad habits. Last week, UK politician Neil Parish resigned after being caught watching pornography in the House of Commons. Twice. Ew! Embarrassing and disgusting! He said he was looking at tractors, and then another website just appeared.
Funnily enough, it was tractors I was looking at, and so I did get into another website that had a sort of very similar name.
How strange. Maybe his bad habit isn't his porn addiction, but the fact that he finds tractors arousing. Ugh, I can't with these men. Oh, thank you, darling. What is that? Oh, my goodness. Yes, I like a bit of rosé at midnight and midday, all hours of the day. Have bribed a few people now and again to get my little Olivia's foot in the door, and spent 6 figures on Botox, but we all have our quirks. Anyway, that's all from me this week, Ren. I'd like to know what your bad habits are, darling. You're a natural politician, Linda. Now let's grab our torches and knapsacks as we head over to Doomsday Prepper, Nakas Devereen.
With the cost of renting a house climbing by 21.1% in Australia's capital cities, thousands in danger of mortgage stress, and 1 in 25 homes likely to be uninsurable by 2025 due to climate change, we are undeniably in a housing crisis. Lucky for you, as always, I knew this day would come and have identified the top 3 enemy targets you'll need to take down on your way to securing that shabby chic townhouse. Target number 1, young liberals. If their passion for cryptocurrency or Instagram posts venting about the hustle aren't enough to put a bounty on their heads, this surely will. These youthful Elon Musks probably went to an inner city boys' school and planned to land a $200K annual salary at KPMG by the time they're 25. Naturally, their rental or mortgage applications will be the kind of elitist, ass-kissing crap real estate agents eat for breakfast. They are an absolute threat and must be annihilated. To do this, you're going to have to convince them that the property you're after is in, dare I say it, a progressive neighbourhood. At the open house, casually mention all the nearby vegan restaurants that serve up cauliflower for steak. That's right, cauliflower. Or if they're still not budging, casually mention the scent of weed probably stained into the walls. In a worst case scenario, I want every street post, every community billboard in a 10-kilometre radius plastered with any leftist flyer you can possibly think of. I want stolen land, free Palestine, park protest every Sunday. Those ScoMo supporting commerce majors will dash off in their Lexus before you even have to mention the local queer bars. In fact, to be on the safe side, let's get some of them out right now. Come on, I want you to move it. Target number 2, the Prime Minister. If Scotty from marketing ever releases a self-help book, it will surely feature all of our favourite tips, like how we should get better jobs, cut back on our daily cappuccinos, or just buy a house.
To support people who are renting a house is to help them buy a house.
To lure the PM away from housing chatter, I suggest you offer up something inauthentic, undercooked, and in no way linked to the economy: curry. To give it some extra appeal, make sure it's inspired by the cuisine of the people he's disenfranchised for years with refugee camps or temporary visas. There is, after all, no spice quite like the violation of human rights. And finally, target number 3, existentialism. The planet is burning, the news resembles The Handmaid's Tale more and more every day, and Taylor Swift did not attend the Met Gala. As someone with an entire inventory of weaponry, the best I can suggest for this one is a vanilla bean candle and manifestation journal. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and sometimes the most desperate measure of all is hope. You deserve safety, yes, definitely the safety, and comfort, and a nicer bunker, yes. You will manifest a nicer bunker, and I'm sorry, are you filming? Did I tell you you could film this? I said back off.
Right, Nakis, you might live outside society, but you're still bound by its rules. Right, we're off to a quick break.
Sold out. Liberal, Labor and the Greens have all sold out. You and Australia. Sold out our country, sold out their principles.
Welcome back. Now it's time for what I didn't learn at uni. And who better to talk to than someone who's still too young for tertiary education?
Today, we are speaking with a 14-year-old. He is the founder, chief anchor and managing director of 6 News. So let's welcome Leonardo Puglisi. Welcome, Leo, to what I didn't learn at uni.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so how did the vision for building your own news channel come about?
I guess it was the combination of a couple of interests. I liked English, and I still do. For example, at school, and I'm talking primary school here, if we had a choice between writing something fiction and non-fiction, I would choose non-fiction. I might do a mock newspaper report. I also liked editing some video things, like on a basic software like iMovie. And I did that for school projects often, and I also liked, and I still do love, public speaking. And yeah, I guess that all came together, and I had watched the news from a young age too, and I thought, oh, why not do this silly little passion project in Year 6, started up, little YouTube channel, you know, and now we've just interviewed the Prime Minister and the Opposition Leader of Australia. It's an incredible rise, and it's a rise that is going to keep going up. We're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Great. So, you're obviously in school right now, and what do you hope to learn from uni then?
It's a good question, and I guess it's hard to answer because it's not even like I'm over in year 12. It's year 9. I'm not even having to worry about end of year exams yet. What I hope to learn, and again, I mean, I'm not committing yet, but if I do go to uni, which I likely will, I'm really hoping to learn just how to define what I do, because I've always found it a bit hard to say what exactly we do. I've never tried to call it like a youth news thing or news for kids by kids, but at the same time, like, I've always hated using that constant term, independent and unbiased digital news outlet. It's just very, very wordy. So I really just hope to define it, simplify it, and really make us stand out a lot more. And while we do that with our age, I hope to do that once we're at the age of any other, you know, mainstream journalists, where we'll still be taken seriously. We're still independent and unbiased, but we can actually stand out and not just be anything else. Because our biggest point of difference is obviously our age, and I guess that's something that, you know, it'll never last, unfortunately. I'll never keep my nice youthful looks, but it's gonna have to develop over time. So I do hope to learn that at uni. Yeah,
that is great. So I would have to say, is it apt to say that you are giving expensive media schools a run for their money with your success, because you've managed to achieve what unis teach by charging thousands of dollars?
Oh, yeah. Look, I mean, I obviously think there's nothing that I can, there's nothing I could have learned without seeing examples from students taught, or from people who were students at university, and I've now seen them on TV, because they were obviously a big inspiration. I can probably, you know, there's too many journalists to name there. But look, I don't know. The fact is, I think our team has managed to grow without any university support. So yeah, it's a bit hard to manage. I think obviously there are still many elements of 6 News I want to redefine, and I think we need more help with, but it's so far, I mean, and without, you know, tooting my own horn here, I think it's pretty impressive that we've been able to do this.
It is actually
almost 100% viewer funding, only the support of our parents. Most of us cannot drive anywhere. Most of us cannot do a lot of things. None of us are union members. I don't think we can even be union members, and we're all doing that while doing remote learning while starting high school. So I don't know, it's incredible. But yeah, unis, I don't know, they're gonna have to, you know, ask me to start teaching the class.
Compelling. Well, with last night's second leaders debate overlapping with the end of MasterChef, times have changed significantly. Back in 2010, the scheduled leaders debate between Julia Gillard and Tony Abbott was forced to move time slots in order not to clash with the cooking show's Juggernaut Season 2 finale. This either says something about how much esteem we have for our politicians if we're willing to bump them for reality TV, or recognises how truly mesmerised the country was by Peter Gilmore's Snow Egg. Either way, let's assess the current lay of the land and find out whether Aussie politics and food can indeed mix.
In the lead up to elections, food is often used by politicians to make them seem relatable, which was apparently the aim back when Tony Abbott munched on a raw onion. Yes, very relatable. However, ScoMo takes this complex political strategy one step further, regularly showing off his culinary skills on Instagram. With MasterChef's new season airing and ScoMo's employment future looking a little bit rocky, perhaps he's thinking about life after politics and is in fact preparing to audition for MasterChef. So let's have a look through this hopeful contestant's catalogue of food successes and failures. There was that time in January when Scott posted himself skillfully slicing up a fresh barramundi, which he later served completely whole. Very mysterious. He has, however, had success with samosas, or should I say scomosas, as he likes to call them, a dad joke for the history books. And then we have his most recent attempt to impress the MasterChef judges. We all thought ScoMo had mastered a curry. However, when he proudly posted his chicken korma to Instagram this week, his followers quickly pointed out that it was just very much raw. This comes as a shock because after his rumoured incident at Engadine Macca's, I really would have thought that he'd be on high alert for food poisoning risks. For those who need a refresher on the most treasured political fable of our time, let me set the scene. It's September 20, 1997, and our 30th and current Prime Minister is on the way home from a Cronulla football game when he approaches the golden arches of Engadine McDonald's. The tale goes that on this dark, dark day, ScoMo entered this fine establishment and proceeded to shit his pants. Now immortalised by a plaque outside Engadine Macca's, one would think this Twitter-fueled rumour would surely be enough to turn ScoMo off raw meat. Perhaps a more suitable Instagram caption would be, strong curry, strong economy, weak bowels. So, considering ScoMo's complicated past with food, it's admirable that he's so ambitious in his MasterChef dreams. Let's just hope that in future he avoids using salmonella as an ingredient. Back to you, Ren.
Tasty. Now let's take a look at the weather.
With plenty of stormy activity around political endorsements of late, it's time to find out who's allowed to support who this campaign season. Whether Josh Frydenberg will find a single voter to publicly back him without an ensuing media uproar remains hazy, with the CEO of Guide Dogs Victoria stepping down after lending her support to the treasurer. Not only that, but Frydenberg was also chastised for publicly announcing he had secured the vote of his opponent's mother-in-law, with Monique Ryan stating families should be left out of the election. Whether that same memo was passed on to Scott Morrison seems extremely unlikely. Whether allegations of foreign interference will be leveled at Labour for deploying Russell Crowe to their election campaign remains to be seen. However, there should be no such worry for Barnaby Joyce, who won't be receiving an endorsement from Pistol and Boo's parents anytime soon.
Thanks, Varen. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. As we home in on polling day, campaigning is only going to intensify. Keep a critical eye out for Polly's social media gaffes, quirky habits, and food fetishes as they capture your attention and potentially distract you from the bigger issues. Oh, until next week, the struggle, it's real.